Hello. Today I will be making a video that I never wanted to make, and as the cool kids would say, this is a crash out video. Um, I if you told me a few months ago that I was going to be even more doomer than Reddit on Path of Exile or the future of GGG, I would not believe you. But hopefully, what I say over the next several minutes might convince you that things are extremely dire, and hopefully, that this message gets to the community and to GGG that whatever state you think Path of Exile's in my opinion, again, I'm not Nostradamus, but it is 5 to 10x worse than you think. I could see this GGG very closely resembling Blizzard when they just got done making Wrath of the Lich King going into Cataclysm, in which the first 3 expansions of World of Warcraft everyone liked. They were kings of the world, and then Cataclysm and came, and they didn't recover for the rest of history, and will probably never recover for the rest of history. I see lots of parallels to Path of Exile 2 and, spoiler, also the future of Path of Exile 1. So, the reason I am so doomer is because in the point 2 patch, it wasn't just the endgame that was bad. If the endgame was bad, okay, that makes sense. The endgame has only been in development for, let's say, 6 to 9 months, so it needs a lot of iterations upon to be good, but that's not the reason. The reason is because the campaign is trash. All the systems that are currently being used when leveling up from 1 to 60 through the campaign uh, needs almost a complete overhaul. Like it's the story is good. The layouts are decent. I mean, if there's not a bunch of dead ends, the bosses are cool. So it's not like completely worthless game. But when it comes to itemization, when it comes to currency drops, when it comes to game balance, when it comes to movement speed, when it comes to gearing, when it comes to all these other systems, uh, GGG has had 10 years of Path of Exile 1 and, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years of Path of Exile 2 to get the uh, campaign into a good state. And it's terrible. So, here are some examples that I want to bring up. So, um, again, I don't know how GGG is coming to these conclusions, but they are currently pushing players to play a ruthless mode of the game. Uh, Reddit was right. Path of Exile 2 is ruthless, at least in the campaign, and very very few people want that. So during the campaign, again, I don't know have all the statistics. I'm sure GGG does, but let's take some guesses. During the campaign, which takes new players 15 to 30 hours to do, how many armor scraps actually drop? How many whetstones actually drop? How many lesser jeweler orbs actually drop? How many alchemies actually drop? It's basically nothing. And if these newer players are struggling, which this is one thing I kind of agree with GGG on. I do believe the campaign should be a full game in and of itself. It's if it's a longer campaign, that's not really an issue as long as it's fun. The game shouldn't be an easy game where I just equip all the items that I need and then I just blow past everything and one shot everything. I also think that's a bad game design. But in no scenario should be you be running through the whole campaign with a bunch of magic gear or a magic item that you found in Act 1 that you still have 30 items or 30 levels later, or maybe you find like, I don't know, 30 different whetstones over the course of 40-hour play session so you can max quality up 2 different items. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me why this is currently in the game. Again, the campaign has been in development for 2-3 years. who is making that design decision that you can only upgrade 2 to 3 weapons throughout the campaign? That's insane. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. Like, especially when it comes to newer players, if you're trying to teach um, newer players what Path of Exile is, it's crafting with a bunch of different regions to make yourself more powerful and take on the next boss. If none of the shit's dropping, you just feel like you're just going through the paces. Like, you'll go through a zone, you'll find nothing, you'll get 0 upgrades, and then you'll go to the next zone, and then the next zone, and then you might find a single rare item from a unique mob in a third zone. Like, that's currently what the game feels like, and that is fun for literally no one. So the first change that I would suggest is increase the number of currency drops, and I will get to this later, but yes, a lot of these things that I will be suggesting will increase character power. So you will need to rebalance the game based off of higher character power, because basing currently, I believe the game is based on people having basically 0 resistance and 0 life on gear and a bit of damage on your items. Again, like uh, Jonathan seems to believe that having half blue items equipped is a good vision for the game. It makes 0 sense, at least currently how blue, magic items work, which I will get to in a sec. So the first change, buff currency drops by 300%. The next one, I would add Vault Orbs to all the zones. Again, Vault Orbs are a super fun mechanic. I really, really like what they did with Vault Orbs in PoE 2. That's one positive, I guess, you can get from this video, but I will talk more about that in a sec. Another thing is that when people are in a pinch, to find these currencies that don't drop, because again, if you survey 100,000 people, they will drop different items. So one person might have 1,000,000 whetstones, some people might have 0 whetstones. To combat that, you should have a vendor that sells specific currency items in short supply, a limited supply, for a high gold value. So, no, this shouldn't be the optimal way to get these currencies, but if you're in a pinch and you get really, really bad RNG, then you can purchase these items. The next one, we're going back to the Vault Orbs. So, Vault Orbs, since Jonathan really, really likes magic items, and I believe magic items are they could be very interesting, but for some reason they didn't iterate upon magic items going from PoE 1 to PoE 2, even though they've had 10 years to think about it. Magic items, like, they're not cool at all. Like, no one likes magic items. They're used in crafting for PoE 1 for some different things, but currently in PoE 2, they're literally worthless items, pretty much. I mean, you can use greater essences to upgrade them, but other than that, they are completely worthless. So I do believe Jonathan is right. Magic items should be cool, but currently they aren't. So how I would make them cool is that Vault Orbs should work on magic items to do specific things. So the first one would be, if you vault a magic item, it should guarantee a third socket. So instead of having a 2-line item, then you can have 3 sockets. So it's a pseudo 5 item. So you can have 3 different sockets with maybe different reses in it, and then you could have like life in a resistance or life in a damage mod on rings or something like that. I mean, obviously you want to get sockets on your rings, but just vaulting a magic item should give it a third socket guaranteed. The other one applies to rings, and that is, when you vault a magic item, you have a chance of upgrading the values of that item from 0 to 50. So this is the same philosophy they have for uniques, which the roll range is negative 22% to positive 22%. The same thing should happen to magic items. So again, currently magic items are so bland, they're terrible. Like, why hasn't GGG improved upon the magic item system if they want magic items to be in the game? I have no fucking clue. The next change is, I think all items should just drop with max sockets. I don't really see a reason why you should have artificer orbs in the game. The limitation should be getting the right gem for your sockets, not both way. Like, it shouldn't be a double whammy. Oh, you need artificer's orbs. Oh, and then you need the right gem. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So remove them. The next one, this every single person wants this. No one can convince me that this is a bad idea. The attribute travel nodes that are on the passive tree should be respect for free. So uh, when you um, when you want to equip a, I don't know, armor chest piece and you don't have strength on it, well, then that item has to sit in your bags until you get gold or you get another piece that gives you strength or something. So, or instead, if you drop that item, you should be able to go back to the town, respec for free, maybe dex nodes or int nodes to get strength nodes so that you can equip the item. You shouldn't be locked, like newer players especially, shouldn't be locked behind respecking at super high costs. Um, in addition to that, when it comes to gold, it's like when it seems like there's a massive disparity between newer players and veteran players, obviously, because veteran players can beat the campaign in 6 hours, new players can beat it in 40 hours. So we're like, or veteran players are like 5 to 6 times faster. To combat the disparity between a bad player and a good player, which I think that that's kind of unhealthy for someone to go 6 times faster. But to combat that disparity, I believe that if you're going through the campaign and you're slogging through it, you don't know what you're doing, you're a noob, you don't know what's going on, you run through the zones multiple times to get gear, you're whatever. You're running basically into a wall and you can't progress your character. In my opinion, you should give them a helping hand, and if these newer players are running through zones that they are over leveled in, that they should get a gold bonus uh, while they do it, so that they can purchase, either gamble the items or go to vendors and purchase more items, so that they can get through that bottleneck that they are going through. Currently, there is nothing in the game that will help players through bottlenecks. And the bottlenecks will happen if the game is hard, which I do believe the game should be hard, so there should be bottlenecks for newer players, but there are currently no solutions for these bottlenecks. So giving them more gold if you're over leveled in a zone would be a good thing. And then it would be like a buff in the top right corner that says like, oh, you're getting 25% more gold. Oh, you're getting 100% more gold. So, yep, this would just be, in general, a good thing. The next one, again, it goes to the, some players are, uh, how do I word this? The game has a massive discrepancy between it being easy and it being hard. So currently, right now, people are saying it's hard. That means GGG is going to make it easier. And then once it's easier, then veteran players aren't going to have very fun in the game because it's going to be too easy, because there's a wide discrepancy between good players and bad players. So I previously made a video a few days ago going through some of this, that there is such a wide discrepancy, and I will kind of reiterate this with this point, but in no scenario should an item be, or in no scenario should an item be 6 times better than another rare item. The gaps are like massive, so maybe you just get lucky and you end up dropping a triple elemental bow, and you're doing literally 5 times damage as someone that didn't get lucky with that drop. That should never be a thing. And I'll bring up a graphic to demonstrate this. So let's say you're in the level 30 bracket and you have a zealot bow, and let's say it's a rare bow, and you have like one light item for elemental damage, and you have like attack speed or something. That would be like a decent bow. So the base damage is like roughly 40. Let's say you get one light item of burning, so that's another 20 damage, so you're up to 60 damage, and then you have attack speed, so then you're doing like 70 DPS, just baseline. Well, if someone gets lucky and they have a level 30 bow, so then they get flaming, and then they also get, I don't know, crit or plus gem levels and cold damage, and like, yeah, just what I'm saying is you shouldn't be doing 4x damage just because you got lucky on a single item. That's ridiculous, and you can't balance the game that way. Like, the bosses should be fun, but if you just lucky end up RNGing a good bow, then the game isn't fun anymore because you just one-shot everything. That doesn't even make any sense. So, like, all these numbers should be way, way, way less. Like, okay, sure, let's say you have a bow and it does 70 DPS. if you get good RNG, instead of having 300 DPS, it should be 110 DPS. Maybe you do 50% more damage. Okay, then it would be fun for the good RNG people, and it would still be fun for the bad RNG people, because you would balance the game within that band of damage. So, again, GGG has had multiple years to iterate on this. They haven't improved upon it. It makes no fucking sense. Legit. And they're not even looking at this stuff. Like, all the issues that come up, they're not looking at it. Why aren't they looking at it? They're just trying to balance the game. They're like, oh yeah, we're trying to balance the game. Well, you're not even looking at it. You're not even looking at the problems. And the same thing can be said for plus gem levels. Every single level on a gem can be between like 15 to 22% damage, and it's multiplicative on top of each other. So if you get plus 3 gem levels on a wand or something, you're literally doing double damage on a single line item. That doesn't make any sense. Stop doing stupid shit, GGG. Oh my gosh. And then another thing. Iron rings give 1 to 4 physical damage. 1 to 4 physical damage. So, if you... why does it give 1 to 4 when, let's say, someone equips an iron ring at level 35, and they have 2 light items for LE damage that give 15 damage and then 15 damage on average. So it's 30 damage. So, just having 2 prefixes on a ring is doing 20x damage of the implicits of an iron ring. Again, GGG is not looking at things that it just copy and paste from POE 1 to POE 2. Oh, we had an iron ring in POE 1. Oh, we'll just transfer the same values to POE 2. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, I know there's a lot of things that GGG has to do, but this isn't my job, and it's just so obvious that the power discrepancy is an issue in the game. You literally can't balance the game to be fun if there's this wide of skill balance or affix difference balance. It's insane. Another rant. If movement speed is basically required, unless you have Temporalis, which basically no one has Temporalis, or whatever, T0 unique, why don't boots have implicit movement speed? Again, running at literally 0 movement speed is very not fun. And again, it's going to go to the good player and bad player. A good player will know to have movement speed on your boots. You don't play the game unless you have movement speed on your boots. You're stupid if you don't have movement speed on your boots. A noob doesn't know that, so a noob might go through the entire campaign with 0 movement speed on their boots, and they might even have negative movement speed because of the line item that I'll get to next. So, should a person that just knows the knowledge that 20 movement speed is required on boots once you get to like the mid of a campaign, should they go through the game 20% faster based on a single modifier to a single item? No. Doesn't make any sense. Again, you need to squish the power balance of people, noob versus veteran. Giving boots implicits need to happen. Also, it just feels better. Going at 0 movement speed and being bombarded by mobs that push you around is terrible. So, yeah, movement speed on boots. Another one. Okay, sure, I understand that having metal armor on your body should probably slow you down versus having a cloth on your body. Okay, this isn't the fucking real world. Please design your game based on fun. When you implement something, the first thing you'll say, is this fun? Is this fun? Is this fun? Is this fun? This line item, if you're a warrior and you have all plate or whatever armor gear, you should not move at negative 15 movement speed. This is dumb. Again, that is not fun. Do not do it. The only way you can combat this is if you give like warriors spammable movement skills like leap slam or whatever, which is in the game, but do you want the game to divulge around people just jumping around? I don't know. I think that's just bad design in general. So, again, really simple fix, just do it. Like, just swallow the pill. Players need to run faster, just put it in. So this video's been 20 minutes long, and the final thing I will say is yes, a lot of these things will be buffing the power of people, even though this one is a massive nerf. Just all I'm saying is, uh, once hopefully these things are implemented, yes, the game does need to be balanced. And so GGG has said multiple times that they want their boss fights to last a decent amount of time. I don't know what that number is. Is it 2 to 4 minutes? Let's say it is. So if these changes make the character twice as strong because you actually have rare gear that you're actually crafting with currency, and if this is making people 20% faster, but if this is nerfing the top end of players by half, yes, you do need to rebalance the game, but it should be way, 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 way easier to balance the game if there isn't such a wide discrepancy in player damage. So this goal of GGG that they really, really, really want to hit during the campaign and in endgame, this goal is literally impossible. You cannot do it. Literally impossible. You cannot do it. You cannot balance the game if there is such wide player discrepancies, power discrepancies. So if you want to not fail at your goal, you need to balance the game, as I said, with these changes. Or something similar. So, that's a bit of my tangent. Again, I really hope this gets to the right people. Like, you think I'm being parabolic or you think it's clickbait. It's not clickbait. Yes, I'm not Nostradamus, but what I foresee at GGG is very, very, very bad. Like, legit. Like, worse than you guys think. So, yeah. This video is too long. Hopefully things change. Peace.